Mrs. Richardson, could you share a little bit more information pertaining to how the budget is used within your school?
I use the Title I funding within our school to supplement our current instructional program. Some of the programs that we purchased with Title I that have been very, very beneficial with us in moving the school forward academically is Study Allen, vocabulary, Moby Max, and just being able to purchase Common Core resources. I'll give you a little bit of information about each one of those programs because we use the Study Allen program specifically to help gauge the successful implementation of our standards within the classrooms as the teachers teach each week, and the students are able to take benchmarks. They're able to go into the lab and see if they are being 80 to 85% or more proficient on the standards that's been taught in the class, along with some other resources. Study Allen also helps to provide interventions for our students every day because that's built into our master schedule, and plus it provides parents with the resource at home. Same thing for Moby Max to provide students with more individualized instruction. We use the Moby Max program to supplement instructional practices in the class and along with morning intervention and afternoon intervention. Moby Max, however, is for kindergarten through 5th grade, which we're excited about that because Study Allen only really shows a lot of testing and assessments for 3rd through 5th grade. One of the things that we need to improve at the school level is our vocabulary. So the Title I funds helps us to be able to purchase the vocabulary program throughout the whole school where the students are highly engaged in using music and song to learn new and innovating vocabulary of which they use throughout the week. As we began to look at our data more carefully, I also use Title I funds to provide after school programming for our bubble students or students who are right at the door of being proficient. Using these things in the past 3 years has helped us grow. When I came to Hollister, the school was at 25.1%, and we had no supplemental resources at that time. That year, we began implementing these supplemental resources that I just spoke about, and that year we had a 7.7 gain of growth for our students. So in year 2, in using those programs and digging very, very deeply into our data and the Title I fundings and after school, we are so happy to say that we had 16 points growth, and we're now moving from an F to a C school and coming from 32% proficiency to 48.9% proficiency. And all of that is truly because of the way that we use our Title I fundings.
Wonderful. Mrs. Richardson, speaking of Title I fundings, we know that you have different types of fundings and various codes that you use those fundings with. How difficult or how easy is it for you to understand the codes now and what goes with what?
When you're looking at the chart of accounts book and being able to figure out if you're spending 050 funds, which are Title I funds, and if you're wanting to use it for instruction or if you're paying for a teacher within that program, looking at the codes and for example, if it's technology, then there's a different code that you have to use when you're going to use some of your fundings that's going to be related to buying ink or different things like that. So I rely a lot on my chart of accounts booklet to help me to be able to match up the final coding that goes along with the budget funds.
Very good. Mrs. Richardson, do you work with central office in determining what your funds could be used for?
Basically, I work closely with central office, but basically that is to ensure that what's in my school improvement plan, which is my guiding force for my Title I funds, along with my Title I plan that I incorporate and have to write each year. I use those two documents along with Mrs. Battle and in conversation at central office to ensure that things that I'm going to order have been the things that I or my school improvement team that we see that we need in our building to keep moving the school forward. If it's not in the school improvement plan, if it's not a part of the Title I plan, then we don't use it unless we go back and we revise the plans to ensure that those things are there. We just don't purchase just to be purchasing. It has to have a value, and there needs to be a plan with it to help us meet our SMART goals.
Thank you, Mrs. Richardson. I appreciate your time and your efforts.
Thank you very much, Ms.